Wonder Murmur, where whispers weave the heart.
Hello, little hearts. A new whisper begins. In a kingdom where the sun always seemed to shine, a beautiful princess named Rosalie lived in a castle of white stone and glass spires. She was kind and gentle, with a heart as pure as the mountain spring. But her life, for all its beauty, was sheltered. She had never known hardship, and her innocence was a delicate, unblemished thing. One day, the time came for her to journey to a distant land to meet her betrothed, a noble prince. Her mother, the queen, hugged her tightly, her eyes filled with both pride and worry. "My dearest Rosalie," she said, "the world can be a dangerous place. People are not always who they seem. You will travel with my most trusted handmaiden, a girl named Greta." The queen gave Greta a stern look. "You are to protect the princess with your life." Before they left, Rosalie's fairy godmother, a being of pure light, appeared before her. "This is not a journey for the faint of heart, my dear," the fairy whispered. "Take this with you." She presented Rosalie with two gifts: a magnificent white horse named Falada, whose eyes held a deep, ancient wisdom, and a magical silk handkerchief. "This handkerchief," the fairy said, "is a shield for your heart and your truth. Should you ever lose your way, it will guide you home." The journey began. Rosalie, riding Falada, and Greta, on a simple donkey, set off. The road was long and the sun was hot. After a few hours, Rosalie felt a terrible thirst. "Greta," she said gently, "could you please give me some water from our canteen?" Greta, who had always been cold and envious of the princess, saw her chance. "I'm not your servant here, princess," she sneered, taking a long drink herself. "The water's all gone. Find your own." Rosalie was shocked by her cruelty, but her kind nature prevented her from arguing. She dismounted, found a small stream, and cupped her hands to drink. The magical handkerchief, which had been in her pocket, slipped and fell into the rushing water, carried away before she could even cry out. Greta's cruel laughter echoed from the road. The princess's one link to her magical protection was gone. Now, Greta saw her opportunity. "Without your magic, you're nothing," she said, her voice filled with venom. She forced Rosalie to trade clothes with her. "From now on, I am the princess. You are the handmaiden. You will never tell anyone the truth, or you will be locked away forever." Rosalie, her heart heavy, could only nod. She mounted the humble donkey, while Greta, gloating, climbed onto the magnificent Falada. The horse, sensing the deception, whinnied angrily, bucking under the impostor's weight. "Tie this beast up!" Greta shrieked. "He's unmanageable." When they arrived at the castle, the prince, deceived by Greta's royal dress, welcomed her warmly. He looked at Rosalie, dressed in humble clothes, with a puzzled frown. "This girl will need a job," Greta said quickly. "She can be the Goose girl, a job for someone who is simple and plain." The prince, seeing no reason to doubt her, agreed. Rosalie's heart broke. She was forced to take a job herding geese with a gruff boy named Conrad, and her beloved Falada was locked in a stable, chained. Every morning, she would go to the stable to talk to him, her voice filled with tears. "Oh, Falada," she would whisper. "What have they done to you? If my queen mother knew, her heart would break." And Falada, with his wise eyes, would seem to nod, the sorrow in his gaze mirroring her own. One afternoon, As she sat on a rock in the pasture, she took out the pins that held her beautiful golden hair. It cascaded down her back like a river of spun light. Conrad, the boy, saw it and tried to grab it. "Golden hair!" he cried. "I want it!" Rosalie, surprised by his greed, uttered a prayer to the winds. "Blow, wind, blow! Take Conrad's hat away from here!" A powerful gust of wind ripped the hat from the boy's head and sent it flying across the fields. While he ran after it, Rosalie quickly braided her hair and hid it once more. Conrad, frustrated and suspicious, ran to the king. "That Goose girl is strange," he complained. "She talks to her horse and she can command the wind. She should be punished." The king, a man of great wisdom, listened to the boy's story and felt a prickle of doubt. The next day, he followed Rosalie in secret. He watched as she spoke to Falada, and to his astonishment, the horse spoke back, his voice a low rumble. He followed her to the meadow and hid behind a bush. He watched her let her golden hair fall free and saw Conrad try to grab it. "Blow, wind, blow," Rosalie said, and the wind, like an obedient dog, obeyed her command, snatching the hat from Conrad's head. The king's eyes widened. He had seen enough. This was no ordinary goose girl. That evening, he summoned Rosalie to his chambers. "Tell me your story," he said gently, "and do not be afraid. Your truth will set you free." Rosalie, feeling the warmth of his kindness, poured out her heart. She told him everything, from Greta's cruelty to the loss of her handkerchief and the imprisonment of her horse. She cried as she confessed her fear, and the king's heart went out to her. He ordered his guards to prepare a royal gown for her, and she was brought to the great hall, transformed into the true princess she was. A feast was arranged that night, and Rosalie sat at the prince's right hand. On his left sat the fake princess Greta, who didn't even recognize the girl she had so cruelly tormented. "My dear nobles," the king announced, his voice booming with authority, "I have a story for you. A handmaiden betrayed her princess and stole her identity. What punishment should she receive?" Greta, in her arrogance, spoke without hesitation. "She should be chained in a dark cell for all her life. Her life should be forfeit." "So be it," the king said, his voice cold and hard. "You have sentenced yourself. For you, handmaiden, are the one who has told a lie." Greta shrieked as the guards seized her. The truth had finally come out. In that moment, the prince, who had seen Rosalie's beauty and kindness even in her rags, knew what a noble heart she had. He proposed to her, and she, with a grateful heart, accepted. The first thing they did was free Falada. "Falada!" Rosalie cried, embracing him. "The truth has set us all free." The princess, who had once been innocent and naive, was now wise and strong. She had learned that true nobility is not in a crown or a title, but in courage, truth, and a kind heart. And the truth, like a magical handkerchief, would always guide you home.
Wonder murmur, the story departs, yet the whisper imparts.